One of the challenges that sales and account management people wrestle with is this issue of how do they segment their customer base so they can adequately prioritize the relationships that are worthy of serious investment. It stands to reason if you're the head of sales for a business and the cost of servicing a major customer is significant, and it usually is, then you want to be making sure that you're not diverting resources and money towards relationships that are not profitable or show little scope for growth. Over the years, sales and marketing academics and researchers developed a 4-box matrix that helps sales professionals segment and prioritize their customers. It's sometimes called the Customer Portfolio Matrix, but variations on it go under different names. No matter, it has become a useful tool for sales to justify and plan their investments into specific customer accounts. Professional buyers use the term supplier preferencing to describe the matrix, mainly because it describes a process of suppliers preferring some customers over others. Let me explain the model. There are 2 axes that help determine customer prioritization. Firstly, account revenue and profitability, the balance of which will be dependent on the priorities for the supplier. For example, if accelerated growth is the main priority for the company, then revenue is likely to be more important than profitability, although profitability is the ultimate goal. In the model, the scale runs from low to high, as does the vertical axis, account attractiveness. Now, what represents attractiveness will be different depending on the selling company. Another example, if the supplier is a small to medium-sized enterprise, an SME, then having customers pay invoices on time or early might make a real difference to cash flow and be highly desired. For others, then collaborative ways of working might be particularly important, or indeed the openness of the customer to supplier innovative ideas, no doubt very important for tech companies. In working around this matrix from the sales perspective, we find 4 different relationship management strategies available to the supplier. Firstly, if the customer account is deemed by the supplier to be of medium or low attractiveness, and where revenues and profitability are modest or even worse, then the relationship can be described as a nuisance relationship. The supplier's approach to this type of relationship will be to think very carefully about how much it is investing in the relationship, and may even mean removing the customer from its key account management program. Often it will willfully neglect the relationship and simply allow it to die on the vine. In the top left-hand quadrant of the matrix, where the supplier's revenues and profit from the customer relationship remain low, but the customer is considered an attractive proposition, then this is the develop box. Here, the supplier will be making relationship-specific investments in anticipation of growth in revenues and ultimately profitability. You might call this the optimist box. Over on the right-hand side of the matrix, we find firstly attractive and profitable customer relationships. These are typically the supplier's strategic or core accounts and are obviously very important indeed. The approach of the supplier will be all about delighting the customer, staying focused on delivering performance and value, and farming the account for cross or upselling opportunities. These accounts will get a lot of attention from the supplier senior management team, as well as being a high priority for sales. Finally, in the lower right quadrant, we find customers that may provide significant revenues and profits, but are, sometimes for a variety of reasons, troubled. It may be poor person-to-person relationships, aggressive buying behavior, or over-demanding pressure for cost savings. It's an uncomfortable place for the sales professional, and the supplier's focus is often on commercially exploiting or milking the account. And day to day, this will involve doing just enough to put off the customer from switching the business to another supplier. Some of the most toxic customer-supplier relationships are found in this quadrant. So, this matrix is very important for selling organizations, but interestingly, it has also become a tool used by procurement people. And this is something in my experience that sales professionals don't think carefully enough about. In summary, segmenting customers is very useful for sales professionals in prioritizing and allocating resources. It is a necessary activity. Evaluating customer attractiveness enables the sales professional to open up dialogue with the customer on how the relationship could be improved.